Hey guys, this is Tom Hanks. Welcome to another stream. Today I'm just gonna, well, hang on a second. I'm gonna change the stream title because we don't have a challenge going on today. Um, okay. Today I just want to show you guys a couple of cars that I have built in the past couple of days and whatnot, and we might build something new as well. Um, yeah, so let's start by launching automation, I guess. So that will be here. Okay. Right, let's switch over. Okay, so first up, the thing I really want to show you guys is the AMW Eagle. Now this is a small, now mid-range sports car, rear-wheel drive of course, and it is a 2020 concept. So by mid-range I mean this car, the smaller version of it, the Eco 6, is gonna be costing 39 grand. And then we have a Sport 6 version, which is gonna cost $52,500, which we're gonna get to in a second. And then we're also gonna have an HP version that is gonna do the quarter mile nearly as quickly as a Porsche Turbo S, and it's gonna cost 80 grand. So yeah, what is this car? As you can see, it uses the sort of modern Mustang body. And the front sort of looks similar to a new Mustang. The rear doesn't though. I think the rear is pretty cool. And the Eco 6 and the Sport 6 share a basic engine block. For the Eco 6, it's a 2.5 liter engine that makes 240 horsepower. And we'll get to the Sport 6 in just a second. 240 horsepower, rear-wheel drive, of course. It comes with premium infotainment and interior. It comes with vented discs all around. It comes on sports tires. And with a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission or a 7-speed manual if you want. And this will allow the car to do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 5.7 seconds, which is quick. That is despite weighing nearly 1,500 kilograms, which is sort of heavy for a sports coupe like this. But more interestingly than this, the Sport 6. Hey James, how's it going? Yeah, I don't know. I've been live for like 3 minutes now, so you didn't miss that much. Basically, you just missed the Eco 6 version of the AMW Eagle concept from 2020. Now we're gonna get to the Sport 6 trim, which is gonna have a 3.2 liter turbocharged inline 6, as opposed to the 2.5 that the Eco 6 has. This makes 375 horsepower, and that is 406 pound-feet of torque. So that is a pretty powerful engine, and it still has either a 7-speed double clutch or a 7-speed manual gearbox, depending on your choice. It's got sports tires, 19-inch alloy rims. It's got vented discs all around, some downforce on both ends, premium interior and infotainment, semi-active and active here, and it's very low. And this will actually do 0 to 100 in 4.6 seconds. Actually, it's gonna do a lot faster. in BeamNG, as we'll see in just a second. And this is going to sell for $52,500. Considering that in BeamNG this actually returns very similar numbers on the quarter mile to the BMW M4, in fact it's slightly quicker than the stock M4, that is actually really good value for money. And then we got the HP trim, which is, you know, the much quicker trim, like the high-end trim of it. It's got a premium heads-up display as opposed to premium infotainment. But of course the differences don't end there, because this has, oh man, why do these score so poorly? Stats seem rather good. Yeah, it's because it's sort of a niche that you know, automation doesn't really have a market for. Like for a sports car, you know, it has 4 seats, so it gets points deducted there. But for a GT car, it's too loud. And then for a supercar, the Sport 6 wasn't fast enough. And then, well, the HP, let's see. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Also, for a supercar, it has too many seats. So that's the problem that this has, really. Actually, why is this so bad in... Yeah, it's too expensive to be a sport car here. It's decent in GT Premium, but not amazing. Anyway, this is going to have a 4.8 liter twin-turbo V8, 560 horsepower, and a lot of torque, of course. And it still has a 7-speed double-clutch gearbox, but this thing is all-wheel drive with a rear bias. It's got two 75mm sports tires all around on 19-inch magnesium rims. And it's got vented discs all around, which are easily big enough for what it needs. It's got a rear wing, unlike the other trims that we've seen. So this makes a bunch more downforce. And heads-up display, as I said. And then the suspension setup here is still the same. This is a little bit sharper and more camber than the other trims. And actually proper 4 seats for all of these trims. So yeah, that is probably why. So yeah, this will actually do, in BeamNG, this will do the quarter mile in 10.8 and 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in like 2.9. And that, considering the price of like 80 grand, is pretty good. And the economy isn't that bad either. It's like 26.7 mpg US, I believe. That's what I calculated earlier. That is fairly solid economy for a car of this capability. And then I wanted to show you the Capricorn, which is another 2020 concept. It's an SUV, a large SUV. Now I have exported these on the sports tires that they come with for the road, but we could of course also put them on off-road tires and take them off-road a little bit. It is a 5-seater SUV. For a while I was playing with the idea of going 2-2-2, so 6 seats in total. But I decided against that because nobody does that. And so it's just a regular 5-seater then. It comes with 2 different engines, a 5.2 liter twin-turbo V8 with 535 horsepower, and then a V12 that we're going to see in just a second. The V8 is already very quick. Yeah, 2x2x2 isn't unheard of, but you know, usually you'd have like 2-2-3, right, for a 7-seater. You rarely see 2-2-2. you either see like 2, 3, and nothing, or 2, 2, 3, I think, would be the most common configurations. But anyway, even the V8 is already very quick at 3.8 seconds, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. At top speed is electronically limited to 250, otherwise it would run, I think, just over 300. And again, this gets surprisingly good fuel economy. Or 3x3x3. If you want to go full blast, yeah. Again, the fuel economy is surprisingly good. It's 24.2 US MPG. Price would be like 90 grand, but then again, yeah, it's expensive, but so is like a Porsche Cayenne, which this is gonna compete with. It's got luxury interior and luxury heads-up display. It has 255mm sports tires all around. It's got carbon ceramic brakes because it needs them. And some brake airflow as well. And active comfort suspension, because that seemed like a pretty good choice for this type of vehicle. So overall, this is a very fast SUV with luxurious interior. With actually, I don't think I've shown you the rear end yet, right? That's a very futuristic look, isn't it? I spent quite a bit of time on this, and I like the results, honestly. And then we have a V12 trim as well of this car. Oh yeah, the transmission is a 7-speed double clutch, I forgot to say that. Styling does modernize that body quite a bit. Yeah, that's completely true. And this is the V12. It scores extremely poorly on the market for some reason. I think it should do well here. Actually, yeah, affordability is 6%, so never mind. Utility, sport, luxury. That asks for a huge, like, very big and luxurious car, doesn't it? That also has a big engine, which is exactly what this is, but just in a different price range, apparently. Anyway, this engine makes 650 horsepower and just over 1,000 newton meters of torque. 1,000 newton meters is like 738 pound-feet. So 1,017 would be like 750-ish. Yeah, that propels this car from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 3.3 seconds. The top speed is limited to 300 kilometers an hour, which, you know, is still plenty. It's got 275s as opposed to 255s. Bigger brakes, of course. Still luxury interior and luxury heads-up display with 5 seats. Everything is the same here, and I believe the suspension setup is the same as well. So we're gonna drive these in BeamNG as well, and this thing is a beast. Considering that it weighs like 2.3 tons. Yeah, and then there's one car that I built for a challenge on the forums today. It asks for a basically a businessman's new car in the year 1991 or earlier. And what it asks for, I can read it out for you. Basically, the important criteria are comfort, prestige, safety, service cost, drivability. Average criteria is fuel economy, reliability, sportiness, practicality, performance, looks. And some cars for inspiration, he said, were the BMW 850 CSI, Jaguar XJS 12, Lexus SC400, Mercedes 560 SAC, BMW M635 CSI, and a couple others. So my car, I tried to blend Italian style with German technology. So you may recognize this body shape from, an Alfa Romeo. I chose red, also very intentionally, because it is a very Italian color. And then as far as the technology goes, we have a turbocharged Boxer 6, which is smooth, responsive, and powerful, 350 horsepower. It is still, because of the choice of mufflers, fairly quiet, but I did allow some noise to go through, of course. And then, yeah, the torque curve is, I mean, yeah, there's a bunch of lag until like 3,500 RPM, but from there, since it does rev to 7,500 RPM, there is a very usable power and torque band. And this is the elephant in the room with this car, is that it's rear-engined. That actually I found gave me better results than making it front-engined, because the front of this car is relatively long and the rear is very short. So it had really poor weight distribution if it was front-engined. And as a result of going rear-engined, this makes a lot of traction. And with the 4-speed advanced automatic, it does 0 to 100 in 4.9 seconds in automation. And in BeamNG, it's a lot quicker still. It's got sports tires, 17-inch rims, vented discs, fully clad under tray, luxury interior, basically everything here, and hydro pneumatic springs. And the price limit was, with 0% markup, was 43,500. We're below that, so I think this is a fairly good car, actually. And we're gonna drive it in Beam as well. I already exported it. So I'm gonna introduce these cars to you now, and later we're gonna build some original ones. Not that these ones weren't original, but I've built these before the stream, so now I'm gonna switch over to Beam real quick. We need to switch this as well. So I have definitely fiddled and played around with a lot of different choices on the Eagle, especially on the Sport 6. The thing with the car is that with the viscous diff, it gets a lot more grip, but it doesn't do a donut or a burnout. So with a 375 horsepower sports coupe, you would want to do, donuts if you, a couple of times, right? So I'm just gonna drive one lap in the Eco 6. This is all nice and easy. This already feels fairly quick, actually. Man, I forgot the brakes on this thing are insane. Very nice handling car, this. Absolutely. I really like driving this car. And I also like driving the Sport 6 with the viscous diff, which this is. Um, which is almost the same but faster, basically. I also just love the sound of that inline 6. Yeah, it's a very stable and safe car to be driving here. And yet it's pretty quick, as you can see. Awesome. I did also make a version with a geared diff of this car, which is a lot more drifty. Now, it is still somewhat manageable, but really a lot harder to drive quickly than the one with the viscous diff. However, it can do burnouts and donuts, unlike the one with the viscous diff. So I'm sort of torn between the two. Anyway, this one, the HP, that is quite fast. Yeah, brakes were still cold there. This is a very fast car, man. I really can't see why you'd ever want more power than this in this car. It reacts like the steering is super, like hyper responsive, which is why the thing that happened there happened. Yeah, 120 miles an hour on that little straightaway, no big deal. Yeah, there I wanted to drift, but it didn't really let go enough. Hey Dr. Love, how's it going? But will this car make women like me? I don't know what you mean with that. Anyway, next up would be the Capricorn V8, which is a pretty quick SUV. Oh, make women like me. Yeah, well, okay. Yeah, I read that sentence wrong. Will this car make me attractive to women? I'm pretty sure that if you show up... Let's spawn it again. I'm pretty sure that if you show up in a car like this... yeah. Women are most likely gonna like you. But it's brown. I mean, you can have it in black or in red or in blue or green if you want to. Are you gonna show a girl your PC? Anyway, let's drive the Capricorn V12, which basically drives exactly the same like the V8, but faster. I love the little power oversteer there through that hairpin. You know, considering that this car is as heavy as it is, it doesn't actually handle that badly, but you do of course need to brake fairly early in order to stop in time. And you are gonna be going pretty fast before having to brake for any given corner. Nice little four-wheel drift out of that one. Yes. That's how an SUV should drive. I mean, if all SUVs drove like this, then probably a lot of, you know, housewomen would die every year. But let's take these cars. Actually, first of all, let's drive the Castrol, shall we? Now, this thing is gonna get you chicks, though. At least if it's the year 1990. If it's the year 1990 and you show up in this, yeah. Come on. Yeah, housewives, yeah. Or soccer moms, yeah. But if it's the year 1990 and you show up in this, yeah, this is gonna get you girls, no questions asked. Now let's turn traction control off and see what's what in this. This has a 4-speed automatic, remember? Advanced automatic, actually. And it's rear-engined, which means the front tires are fairly narrow, which means if you turn in normally into a corner, you're gonna get understeer. It sounds good, man. Even though the loudness in automation is only like 31.2, it feels louder than that. Whoa. Yeah, that's where the rear engine layout does have its disadvantages in the higher speed stuff, and you know, only light turning and the engine is gonna or the rear of the car is gonna swing around because the engine's there, and it's just like a big pendulum. Yeah, okay. That was on me, though. That one was entirely on me. But soon enough, we're gonna go to the place where this car is at its best, and that's actually on the quarter mile. Because considering this is 1990, this thing is gonna make some pretty impressive numbers. Okay. So we are going to go to the quarter mile as we said. Drag strip. There we go. And yeah, because here on the sticky surface, oh man, shit. On the more grippy surface, here on the drag strip, it actually does 0 to 62 in like 4 seconds flat, which is crazy. Only if you rev it up beforehand though, which apparently is not possible in the actual time trial here, so this is not going to be as impressive. 13.7. So, I mean, it's not bad. But if you actually like go to free roam, but which we're gonna do in a moment. Actually, yeah, let's just go to free roam. Rev it up beforehand, and now we floor it. 4.2. 4.3. I managed to do it in 4 seconds flat, I think, earlier. That was the worst attempt so far. That was also awful. How was that in 5.9 seconds? This was a good one, I think. 4.2. Okay, let's leave it at 4.2 then. Anyway, we had other cars to test. So the Capricorn V12 is gonna be a really quick car here. Pretty expectably. It kind of jumps at the start because it makes too much grip to spin the wheels. I'm actually gonna do some timed quarter mile runs in this. Yeah, looks good. And yeah, so let's see. $11.4. That is really, really fast for an SUV. Like 11.4, that's on par with the regular flavor, you know, Viper GTS or whatever it was called, the regular Viper of the previous generation that, you know, is no longer in production. And this makes as much power, remember, but weighs like 1,000 kilograms more. We are gonna test the Eagle HP though, which is also gonna be very, very fast here. $10.9. I've done 10.8s in this, I think. $10.9 once again. One more try. Man, driving a car this fast in real life must be so exciting, dude. This car likes drifting too, so despite being four-wheel drive, this can drift pretty well actually. Yeah, that was on me. That was sort of like a pendulum effect or whatever you call it. It was an unintended Scandinavian flick is what that was. Man, it's just surging up those hills as if they didn't exist. Holy crap, this is fast. Now the brakes are fading, but... This is one of those cars that I'd love to drive in real life. But in order to do so, someone would have to make it. So that someone will not be me in all likelihood. And that's a problem, because if somebody else makes it, even if somebody else does make this exact car as it is, I'd have to buy it, right? Or lease it or anything, which probably wouldn't be cheap either. Yeah, cooking the brakes there. But it does feel awesome to drive. It's so fast, man. I think we should switch to a different car here. Let's go with the Sport 6, actually. Or actually, I don't think I've shown you guys this yet. This is the harder version of the red 1999, I think, supercar that we built a long time ago. I made a harder version of this with 750 horsepower rather than 575. Yeah, tires still cold. Once the tires do warm up, it does hook up relatively well. But for now, you get a lot of understeer on corner entry and a lot of oversteer on your way out. But also, you're going so fast between the corners that it's very easy to get understeer on the way in because you're just going so fast. Look at the speedo. Yeah. Man. I really have to give this thing even bigger brakes, apparently. Or just brake sooner, alternatively. Man, the understeer. That was not me at all. Well, okay, well, let's go back to automation and build something new, shall we? What car should we build? Anything in particular that's tickling your fancy? A taxi? Huh. In Arjana. So that would be like a passenger fleet, right? That would be the demographic on the market. Yes. Okay. Yeah, let's try that. Do we run it on like low quality fuel, like 80 run? And what year? Automation, why are you taking so long to load? You shouldn't be taking this long. There you are. 2015. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna build a sedan. Oh, sorry. Yeah. 2015. So, I think I'm just gonna use the BMW body. Oh, that's actually the Audi body. Could also go with the wagon. But I guess we're gonna see about that a little bit later anyway. So, first of all, we need a relatively cheap panel material. Steel fits the bill. Monocoque. And steel chassis, I think. Longitudinal engine placement. And then I think we're gonna go McPherson's and then semi-trailing arm. Because Arjana is one of those countries where not only should the car be cheap, but it should also be slightly off-roadable, shouldn't it? I think that's the thing with Arjana. And I'm gonna go with a large inline... Or actually, I'm gonna go with an inline 5, I think. Large and torquey, but not necessarily lots of high-end power. Wagon might be advantageous in having a third row of seats, but it might. It might have a third row of seats, I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna go with cast iron engine, no VVL, I think, and I'm gonna go up to like 2.8 liters. Something along those lines. I'm gonna go with cast, and then low friction cast so that it's more economical. We're gonna go with like 35 cam profile, something along the lines of a 9 compression. We are gonna use VVT here. We're gonna use a turbo, and it's gonna be a very small turbo with low boost. We're gonna give this probably multi-point injection because it's much cheaper than direct injection. Regular freeway cat because it's much cheaper, I think. Actually, not much. Let's use this and this. Yeah, it's knocking the engine, so let's reduce this as well. Okay, so now I really need to increase the AR ratio. That didn't really do anything. Compressor needs to be bigger though. And so does the turbine apparently. So this doesn't do anything. Turbine does give us some more power. But only up to a point, actually. Oh, the exhaust, yeah. It's restrictive here. Okay, now I like this for now. I will retweak this still, obviously, but let's see what we can make here. Yeah, I think I like this. Very, very early turbo kick in. We can still give it a little bit more compression. 182. .180 horsepower. Okay, nice. I think I like it for now. Let's see what sort of numbers this returns. Wagon. I don't think you're gonna get 3 rows of seats here unless you actually can. I'm gonna worry about the design a little bit later. First I wanna see the rims are gonna be this color. First I wanna see what sort of results we can get, right? It's gonna be an advanced or a regular automatic. I believe 6 speeds should be fine. Probably gonna go faster than 219 kilometers an hour. We're gonna use an open diff. Probably. Gonna use hard long life road tires. Lots of rubber on those tires. Actually only 16-inch rims in that case. Steel rims. Gonna use vented discs up front. Because these brakes are gonna have to be fairly powerful so that, you know, they can actually stop this car, which is gonna be fairly heavy. Because it's all steel. Now, okay, no, you can't put a third row of seats in this one. Passenger fleet comfort is important, isn't it? So we want a premium interior and like standard infotainment, I think. Then we want electric variable. We want ESC. We want standard safety. And let's see. Arcana. Where is passenger fleet? There it is. So we're way too expensive. At 17k, we're way too expensive. Okay, so let's go with the progressive springs instead. And passive sway bars. And then it's still way too expensive. What can we really make cheaper at this point? I mean, we could go for 5 speeds rather than 6, or even 4 speeds rather than 6, but at the same time, apart from that, we're almost as cheap as it can go, really. Except front-wheel drive, I guess. Ladder chassis, solid axles, yeah. Actually, that made it work. Did it? No, it didn't. That made it worse, though. McPherson is the best here, yeah. And then... No. No. Semi-trailing arm. Semi-trailing arm seems to be the best. Multi-link maybe? No. Okay, so front-wheel drive seems to be better. As in cheaper. I mean, an inline 5 isn't the isn't the cheapest engine configuration you can have. But as far as the components go, apart from these rather than cast, we're pretty much as cheap as we can go, right? I mean, yeah, a single overhead cam for valve per cylinder. You could technically go push rods to be cheaper, but at the same time, you could go carbs, I guess, but like that would be a huge compromise. Okay, so making it cheaper by getting rid of the mufflers doesn't actually do it. Baffled mufflers? That made this slight little difference, actually. The body might just be too large. It's just a lot of steel to be using. It is actually fairly economical. Actually, yeah. Standard interior. Basic infotainment. Ah. Yeah, I gotcha. So, oh, it does need safety, doesn't it? Yeah. Basic 2000 safety, I guess. Yeah, I can also lower quality sliders. How is this car so good in fun? I mean, then again, I guess we are in Arcana, so... Oh, yeah, and... Oh. This didn't actually help us that much. It does, to a point. Somewhere around here seem to be the sweet spots, I think. And then we need to go ahead and get rid of all the damper stiffness. Make the spring softer. So it's going to be a complete boat. Gonna get rid of the camber. Okay, that does hurt us actually. The lower quality there. A slower gearbox, maybe? That does make it a little bit better in passenger fleet, but not by enough. The wheels? Yeah, but then again, it's gonna be... I mean, it's gonna be awful to drive. But... Oh, that helps a lot. actually. The brakes are still good enough, actually. Yeah, we're gonna have the worst brakes in the world. It's gonna be an awesome passenger fleet car, apparently. We're gonna change the brake bias a little bit. $65-$35 seems like a decent distribution. Aerodynamics, yeah, we can get rid of. Actually, this doesn't do anything. It doesn't save that many costs, actually. Suspension? That doesn't do much either. Okay, look at how cheap, look at how economical this is too. 6.3 liters. That is, let me see. That's 37.3 US MPG. That's pretty good. So let's see what sort of design we want on this. It's 2015, but I don't want to go for overly complex shapes because this is, you know, for Arcana, where, you know, we might as well go with slightly outdated, perhaps, design languages that used to be modern, you know, 10 years earlier in like, you know, more advanced in like more advanced regions of the world. But it's still not gonna look old, you know. Then again, if we're gonna make this a taxi, we might as well make it yellow, right? So let's go ahead and... No, not the rims, you... Body. Yellow, I guess? Let's make a less shiny yellow, like this. Oh, like that? Yeah, I like this. And the rims are actually gonna be black, I think. Okay. Okay. Now, of course, we need sort of cheap looking steel rims. And I think we're gonna find them in the form of these ones. Uh-huh. Beautiful. Uh. Call 6969. It is gonna need mirrors, obviously. And door handles. I think we're gonna go with something like this. The trim is all gonna be chrome, I think. Actually, no, that was not what I wanted. It's not what I wanted either. Oh, that counts as a mirror, apparently. So let's see what sort of taillights we're gonna put on this. Again, slightly outdated by 2015 European standards. But let's go with something like this. And something like this, yeah. And I guess we're gonna also put one of these here. It's gonna have an antenna, of course. Any fuel tank. Here we still got work to do. You know what? I want to mirror one of these, so I can have a point of reference for the size. Okay, now I no longer need to mirror this. I think it was still a little bit bigger. Sort of like that. And then, of course, our magic number was 6969. Okay. I think what we should still do is make the bonnet black and then these things, but in yellow color. Make some nice pinstripes. That's what I also did on my tuna car, by the way. Why are you moving when I only want to... Dude, why is this happening? Automation, please. I want to mirror you. I wonder when it is on the other side. Okay, there we go. Make it smaller than mirror, then readjust the size. Yeah. Got it. Mix misc fixtures. I hope it doesn't pull these letters to the middle automatically as well. Because if it does, I'm gonna be... Man, it's too large, isn't it? Have to start over with a slightly smaller size. I think that's good. Except if we also want something up here. What is this, by the way? Oh yeah, man. I remember what it is. It's, I think we should put roof racks on this though. This is the sort of car that would have roof racks, honestly. And mirror them. And do we want anything else on the roof? I don't think we want this a siren on there, do we? Yeah, of course. No, we don't want anything like that on the roof. I think it's good. I think the design is good enough now. Now we're gonna have to figure out how this drives, though. We're gonna have to find out how this drives in in BeamNG. I mean, I guess this is a fairly powerful car for this sort of application, isn't it? For a passenger fleet car, this is pretty powerful, especially for Arjana. Okay, let's see. Gonna be going to the automation track. Yeah. Once it actually loads. There it goes. Let's see. Yeah, open diff life with front wheel drive. I mean, I don't know what I was expecting, and also look at body roll. Yeah, it has monumental understeer. Monumental understeer, indeed. He says going into a corner too quickly. knowing that it's gonna understeer even more. Man, I guess the engine isn't that bad. Yeah, the engine's okay. Brakes are okay too. But the open diff... Ugh. Like, this is just... The way this car handles is just atrocious. And then it smokes the front tires trying to get out of a corner. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what I was expecting with the car being this cheap. And front-wheel drive, obviously. But yeah, I mean... I guess this is what happens when you when you deliberately make a car cheap and heavy, basically, by making it large and have a lot of seats. Man, that was full brakes. I was hard on the brakes. 3.6 seconds from 37 miles an hour. That's terrible. But you know, you wouldn't drive this car in the on the racetrack. You would drive it around town, right? Let's see what's what um in the town. Okay. One of these days. Yeah, let's keep ESC on for now. Yeah, it's not actually that slow. But the brakes are just awful, dude. Then again, we did go minus 15 quality on the brakes. So, I guess it is noticeable after all. You know what? Driving it slowly doesn't feel that bad. Deliberately ran over that. Let's see what it does uphill here. It's reasonable, actually. It's not terrible. And going slowly, actually, it doesn't understeer as much either. So I guess overall as a taxi, it's not even that bad. Soaks up these jumps easily. I mean, I guess I should stop trying to treat every car or trying to test every car for handling the way that I test my sports cars and supercars. I think that's a pretty fair point. But at the same time, you know, the automation track is what I default to, and if the car understeers hard, then that is bad in almost any situation, not just on the track. Even here, oh my god. I mean, it's not. I guess, if anything, it's actually. Whoa. If anything, it's actually slightly better than I was expecting. I was expecting it to be awful. It's bad, but not that terrible. Yeah, I mean, especially the engine is fairly solid, actually. Gotta love a good 5-cylinder. I mean, as a taxi, it would work just fine, I imagine. Would be reliable too, because the components are mostly very simple. But yeah, really, if you... I guess we could also make a passenger fleet car for whatever the sort of Arabian region is in automation. Dalula or something like that. Because there, obviously, the game thinks that the game thing, or there people think that you know, a Mercedes Benz is a completely fine, you know, budget family car. So a passenger fleet car there would be an enormous like SUV or something with with at the very least I think premium interior and a powerful engine that doesn't really care about fuel consumption anyway, because people there don't care about fuel consumption because that's where the fuel comes from. And yeah, I guess we could try that. Build one. Yeah, okay. Let's try it. So let's go back to automation. Yeah, automation is gonna load soon, TM. I don't know if I mentioned this. I think I mentioned it last Sunday actually. But when I moved back to Austria, my PC was completely fine except um, on one of my two hard drives, the little plastic part on the SATA connector had broken off. So I was able to temporarily fix it with some tape, and I bought a new hard drive to, you know, uh, to put all my data under that. I believe actually that one of these, I believe that this was seen as like a city eco car or something in that market. Let's see. Yeah, Daluha. Well, look at that. 70 points in City Eco on a 375 horsepower inline 6 sports car. Yeah. Let's see, actually. They value reliability quite a lot. Drivability, comfort, prestige, safety. Not actually too much out of the ordinary here. A little bit of off-road it needs to do. So I think I have another interesting challenge today. Try to build a rival to a rotary or something like his Honda S2000. I mean, I could do that too. Yeah, sure. Should we do that first? What year? I think I'm gonna go with just 2018. A small sports coupe, I guess. Or you know what? Let's go for like 2004. Because that's where both the S2000 and the RX-8 were pretty dominant. So what bodies do we have for that? Any sort of coupe body. That is too large. This is more of a Lotus Elise, which we've built before. We've used this body before. This is too large. I mean, I guess we could use this, but it's like a 1989 body. We'll make it work. So, it needs to be fairly light, but also fairly cheap. It is gonna be inherently light because it's small. But I'm gonna use like light AHS steel for the chassis. Longitudinal double wishbone multi-link. And we're gonna use a inline 4 or boxer 4. I'm gonna go with the boxer actually. I wanna hear how that sounds. Like 4 valves, aluminium. Gonna go like with a really low stroke. Actually, you know what? I think I want to build the smaller car. Yeah. And then I think, actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make like a bike engine. Yeah, that sounds fun. Like a 1 liter inline 3. Yeah, why not? All the lightest materials. And this is gonna rev crazy high. It's gonna be naturally aspirated. Yeah, whatever. Performance intake, 95 octane fuel. We're gonna give it some more fuel here. Raise headers. Yeah, we need a lot more of this. Yeah, it doesn't like revving that high, actually. I don't know why. I think I could actually make the stroke a little bit bigger. Because we can afford to do so without compromising the reliability. Not a balanced engine. Let's make an inline 4 then. That's a 1.6 now. And now we're talking, you know, some actual power. Can still rev to 9800 RPM. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Here we go. We can actually make this larger still, I think. To make like a 2-liter like the S2000. Let's see how much larger we can go. Yeah, we need to actually increase some quality points somewhere. Oh, it's knocking slightly. Let's see. There we go. 2 liters. And we're still not at 240 horsepower. I mean, I guess we should go with either 5 valves or a VVL. Let's go with this. And then, well, a bit less. Yeah, we're gonna have to go with... Oh yeah, a larger exhaust as well. Here we go. Now we got the VTEC as well. .245 horsepower. Okay. This looks like a mini Corvette now. Make it really sleek. No, I don't really need wide tires. Gonna need some, but yeah, it doesn't need. Always put exhausts in slot 2. Second muffler straight through rather than first. Does that change anything on the weight? 118.7, 118.7. I mean, we did get 1 more horsepower by doing this way, but okay. Rear-wheel drive, manual transmission, 6-speed, of course, and let's see how fast this is gonna go. This is basically gonna be turbo lag without the turbo. Actually, let's do the design first. It's the 2000s. Blue, maybe? Yellow? Yeah, let's make it a yellow, why not? Both you and the game audio cut out for a second, and I wasn't sure if song identity... probably, yeah. Like the... sometimes when I switch from building an engine to building the car, the music just stops for some reason. And then when I go back to building the engine, it comes back. That's just a bug that has been going on for a while, actually. I think these are too modern, actually, for... Actually, maybe they were just too large for this small car. Oh, I don't wanna... Fuck, I didn't want both of them at once to be the same. Let's use these then, maybe. So the last one... Oh, that's the wrong one. Again. Use these then, I guess. Nah. Like them that much. Same ones we used for the Community Challenge car. Getting a little outdated, aren't they? These ones? Sure. We could also use pop-up headlights, I guess, but then again, 2004, considering that they were banned in like 2005, probably not a smart idea. And we're gonna put some fog lights down here as well. And a lip so that it handles better. The mirrors, I think... these maybe? Excuse me. Oh, there we go. We're a little bit small, but so is the car. Actually, I think I want to make all the trim slots like black. Yeah. And it needs door handles and also different rims, of course. As far as door handles goes, I'm gonna go with these. Wheels, I'm gonna go with these ones. Place the antenna here. Place the fuel cap right there. And now we get to the rear end. These ones actually don't look terrible. Okay, and then I think I'm gonna go with something like this. Okay. And then let's give it a small diffuser, I guess, on the back. Something like this. It's actually too large. And then we're gonna have the exhausts right here and here. Oh yeah, and we need some third brake light, which I guess I'm gonna put down somewhere here. Just below the number plate. Okay. Do we put a little spoiler on this as well? Something like that, perhaps? It's actually not that small. Out of curiosity, do third brake lights not have to be high mounted as they are in the US? I don't think they have to be, honestly. Like, I can think of a couple of cars where they're not high mounted, such as, you know, I mean, I guess bring a Ferrari to this conversation, but Ferrari F12 has them, you know, sort of like Formula 1 style here. But I think most cars have them somewhere top high mounted, yeah. But let's use a fully clad on the tray actually. No rear seats, because who are you kidding? Yeah, ESC, I guess. And then standard 90 safety. It's progressive springs. Adaptive semi-active. Track budget. Very nice, actually. Slammed to the ground now. And then, whoa, the roll angle is super low now. Okay. Top speed 240 is actually not that bad. 0 to 100, 5.7 is not bad either. The weight is actually not much lower than an S2000. It is lower, but not a whole lot. Like 50 to 100 kilograms. Something along those lines. But it is smaller. Yeah, I don't think I don't think we need all that downforce, to be honest with you. It's not fast enough to really warrant the wing. So let's see what that did for us. Actually, it hurt us in the track and track budget. So I guess we're gonna put it back on there. Uh-huh. I think it looks fine too. Okay. Let's test this in a in BeamNG. Uh-huh. Yeah, but what I was gonna say about the third brake light is that I don't think it's mandatory everywhere to be for them to be high mounted. But I think simply because if it is mandatory in the US, then most car manufacturers are doing it anyway because they want to sell cars in the US. BeamNG. Like, I don't know if, for example, the Golf or the Fiat Punto, they don't have high mounted front brake lights either. I don't think. But yeah, we're gonna test this one car, and then I think after that, I think I'm gonna call it for today. But I still want to see how this drives. I mean, some are mounted inside or on the top rehatched. So yeah, I know you meant that, but man, the VTEC is loud. Yeah, no torque. It's actually fairly quick once you do get into VTEC. Oh, the understeer. Man, I thought the brakes were gonna be better on this because it's so light. But they're not. But yeah, this car is loud, as you definitely heard. It does feel reasonably quick once VTEC does kick in. The brakes will need a little bit of rebalancing. Maybe make them slightly bigger as well. Although they are already fairly big for a car of this weight class, so I think just rebalancing is going to do the trick. Yeah, it was a fun little thing to be doing. For now, I think I'm going to call it a stream. I'm going to stream again next weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And I would hope to see you guys there again. Until then, have a good time. And hopefully see you next Saturday. Bye bye.